Oh, man, do Americans have a perception problem, especially Gen Z, with what is financial success?
Brent, I am so excited to talk about this because oftentimes I think that it's not uncommon for one generation to suggest that the generation coming behind them they haven't got it figured out yet, or maybe they get something wrong, or maybe they don't know what real life is. And I think that when it comes to finances, it is no different. And I worry that there is a skewed perception of reality out there.
Well, let's face it. We live in a social media world where you have people out there putting their highlight reel only, not actually expressing what real life looks like. And they're showing you the latest and greatest cars, their new big houses. It doesn't surprise me at all that, because we actually did content a few years ago. YouGov had a survey, and people just think everybody's rich. And that's why I would tell you, when in doubt, just understand you are richer likely than you realize because social media is skewing your perception.
And so what's great is Fidelity had this wonderful study that came out, and they said, hey, what do you perceive as wealthy? What net worth would you say defines someone being financially successful? And what I love about how this survey broke it out is the respondents were broken out by the generation to which they belong. So that way you could see how it's changed through time. And I thought the numbers were really, really interesting.
Well, look at this. I mean, by the way, we pick on boomers, but boomers are actually the ones living in retirement, and yet they perceive what is financial success from a net worth standpoint as basically the old school $1 million.
$1 million would mean you're financially successful.
If you're my generation, despite what everybody says that I'm a boomer too, no, I'm Gen X, the forgotten generation. We're a little over 5 million. I was actually shocked by this when I saw the content from and the research from Empower. I was like, wait a minute, that's much, much higher than what I perceive. Because if you ask me what is financial success, where you can probably let your money do all the work for you, $2 to $3 million is a decent chunk of money. Millennials is close to $6 million. But Bo, I'll let you do the big unveil, because this is why we did the show title, what it is. Gen Z definitely is skewing differently than everybody else.
It was wild. Again, the question was, and this is what Empower asked, how would you define financial success? What net worth would you have to attain to become financially successful? And when it came to the Gen Z respondents, they said $9.5 million, almost deca-millionaire status, in order to be financially successful. That is far different from millennials, far different than Gen X, and far outside the stratosphere of what you and I get to see on our day-to-day lives.
So I think I always like to bring things back to reality. So we actually researched what is the top 10%. If you're in the top 10% of Americans, what would your net worth be? And the research shows us it's actually $2 million.
$2 million. So the $2 million to be in the top decile of Americans, and yet Gen Z thinks in order to just be able to call yourself successful, you have to have almost 5 times that amount.
Now, what I don't like about this is that if you have a perception that your number is so high on what you'll need, I just don't want you not getting out of the starting gates because you're like, well, if it's this overwhelming, why even start? Don't let social media, don't let the media make you feel like you're poorer than you actually are. Any little activity or just process of starting your financial journey will yield tremendous results in the future. So just do something today.
Now, Empower did not stop here. They didn't just stop at net worth. They said, okay, well, let's step away from net worth. What income level would be required for you to say someone is financially successful? And again, the respondents were broken out by the generation to which they belong. And I thought that this was kind of fascinating. The boomers, that class of respondent, said that, if you're right there at 6-figure status, if you're right at $99,000 of household income or individual income, that would make you financially successful.
Yeah, boomers, $100,000. They're living it. They're in it. Gen X, here's my generation once again. $212,000.
Right. Great living.
Okay.
Then you get to millennials, you get to my generation. They said, okay, if you're someone who makes $180,000, you are financially successful.
But once again, Gen Z, holy cow.
Almost $600,000 of income in order to be considered financially successful.
I'm starting to realize why everybody wants to have a YouTube channel.
That's right. That's what
There's
they're
this
basing
false
it off
perception that everything out there, this is the way you have to have success. But do you see the disconnect? So, like I said, I worry for Gen Z, the youngest generation. They think they don't make as much as their peers. They're worried that they have to have a huge net worth. Guys, don't fall into these lies. You have so much opportunity. This is still, I believe, the best time to start your financial journey. Don't let somebody else pull you in the wrong direction and you miss out on the greatest opportunity, because you're a billionaire of time. And if you're a billionaire of time, that's going to make it so much easier to harness that power of compounding growth and put your army of dollar bills to work.
And remember, at the end of the day, personal finance is indeed personal. So what defines financial success for you is very much dependent upon your circumstances. Brian, we have clients who have large, multiple seven-figure portfolios, and they would argue that they're not quite at financial independence yet. And we have clients who actually live in the realm below seven-figure status, and they are financially independent. They are financially successful. So it is very much dependent upon you and your unique needs and circumstances. So when it comes to defining what financial success is and whether you're there or not, it matters a lot less what your neighbor has going on. It matters a lot more what's happening inside your bank account.
By the way, just to give the rest of the story, the actual top 10% of U.S. income, $150,000.
Very different than $600,000.
For all, I mean, the only ones that got it right were those boomers that we all make fun of.